Okay, this week is also Parshas Parah. Now, everyone makes the big to-do about the fact that Parshas Parah, you mean as in the mitzvah of Parah Aduma, no one understands. Right? But, Meforish and Chazal, that Moshe Rabbeinu understood it. Vikhu elecha Parah Aduma, l'chani megale ta'amei Parah. To Moshe Rabbeinu, Parah Aduma is no mystery. Right? So the question is, why should Parah Aduma be mysterious? And why is that like one of the prime examples, right, of, as it were, when we have something that in Torah, the aspect of Torah, we can't get our head around, right? Okay. So the Gemara says in Shabbos, Daf Lamed Aleph, V'aya emunas itecha Chosin Yeshuos Chachma V'das Yir Hashem Yotzarot. The Bazak Semunas is Seder Zraim, right? Itecha Seder Moed, right? Chosen Seder Nashim, Yeshua Seder Nezikin. Chachma is Seder Kachim, and Das is Seder Taharos, right? So that the Seder Taharos talks about the whole halachas of Tum and Tahara, generally speaking. Right, it's called DAAS. What's the connection? Tahara and DAAS. Right? Now, what do two terms mean? So I don't know if I ever spoke this out over in this forum before, but in my first encounter with my Rebbe, Moshe Shapiro, right, all those years ago, 1990, in Flatbush, the Thor residence. So he asked me, "Atureh mazet tuma, atureh mazet tara."
One is closed and one is open. What is?
Right, that's right. I must have spoken out once.
From you.
Yeah.
Seeing it, but I remember it.
No, you remember it. Very good.
Yeah.
Like I said, what's tuma and what's tara? Right? He said that tuma means, the root of the word is tam, tet mem. So what does that shorish mean? Like talmun, it's covered, right? As in hatmana, right? Tum. There's a membrane over it, or right mitumtam, right? Nothing gets in, right? Is dense. It means his mind is sealed off, right? Right. So tameh, right, is sealed off, right? And that's why the tameh needs shiluach machanos, right? Badad yeshev, he can't come. So depending on the type of tumah, whether he can't come to Harabayis, so he remains disconnected. And he says, as opposed to tahara. Right. So so he said that the pasuk on tzohar ta'asel ateva, make a window. So one of the targum says tihara. Right, it's a window. It makes connection. Right. So he says, tahor is to be connected, to be open. It's to be open. Tameh is to be closed. Right? So you can understand, very well, right? Therefore, in light of what my Rebbe pointed out, why, Seder Taharos is called DAAS, right? Right? Because DAAS, as in to know in the biblical sense, right? That's what Tara is to be open, and that DAAS is connected, like Ha'adam Yada Schava Ishto. As they say, to know in the biblical sense, it means to be connected, right? Right. But that's the good type of DAAS, right? But there's also, another function of DAAS, right, to be disconnected or to make differentiations, like the Yerushalmi says, right? The Yerushalmi says, why is Atachonantanu in Das, in the Bracha of Chonas, Im Ein Das Havdalah Minayin, right? Correct, right? That you need Das also to make differentiations, right? So, is Das a connector? Is Das a separator, right? Well, the answer is it depends. Right, there's when things are meant to be together, it ought to be. right?
Yom,
Right.
that's
That right, so it's to be mavdil, right? So the answer is like this, that DAAS is meant to, it depends. If things are meant to be together, so the good DAAS would connect them. If things are meant to not be together, right? So the good DAAS also says, these things doesn't shtim. It's not a shidduch. It's not, has to stay apart. But then you can have mutant DAAS that does exactly the opposite. Connects the unconnectable, right? Connects the unconnectable, right? And also sometimes is mafrid ben advekim. And you know what those two forms of DAAS are? DAAS Torah versus the DAAS of the Eitz Hadas Tovara. Right? Human intelligence, which we have as a result of the Eitz Hadas, right? Which apropos to Purim, Hamamina Torminai and Hamina Eitz. That's why we read Parshas Parah, explained earlier this evening. We read Parshas Parah after Purim, because Purim we had a certain hisgabrus over Hamina Eitz, which brought death to the world. So that's why Chazal Metaken, the reminder to be nitar from Tumas Meis, before Pesach. They put a dafka right after Purim, because it goes together. Because we had a victory over Amalek that has their shorish in the Eitz Hadas, which brought death to the world. So it's apropos, right? Apropos, right, to put it there, like I explained in a different form earlier this evening. Unbelievable. Tzvi, monk, ultimate husband, right? God doesn't leave his wife alone, but he also cleans up after himself. Unbelievable. Right. Anyways, thank you. Take care, Tzvi. And thank you very much for the challenge. Anyway, right. So the Eitz Hadas Tov Varad, the Nefesh HaChaim says in the Hagah, right, that Miloshin Das connection, it connected Tov and Ra. Tov and Ra should stay separate. The Eitz Das Tov Ra is make a chibur. Right? It was mechaber, and that's why it brought Ra inside of us, and it brought Ra inside of the Olamus, where it used to be constrained to the tree and to the Nachash. It infiltrated, right? It connected the unconnectable. It's Das that puts together incongruence, and of course, and if it works, and once it's not mavdil between things that you should be mavdil, right? So mimela, it also will connect. It also. If it brings together things that should remain apart, it will also separate. It also separate between things that are meant to stay together, right? So all forms of tumah are the disconnection from the things that we should be connected to, because when there's tumah, right, the two major nafkaminas lahalacha, right, that are chal immediately is that the person is cut off from going to the Beis Hamikdash, right? On one hand, right, and also in forms of tumah, you can't have zivug, on the other. These are the two ramifications of Hilchos Tumah Tara that it obstructs chibur. It's the hepech of das, but it's hepech of the real das, right? So if you take a look, death, which is the biggest tumah, it's because death is mafrid between two things that are meant to be together, the neshama and the guf. Which Kayadur Zohar says in Parshas Chayesor is a mashal. Kol Inyonei Zachar are a mashal for the neshama, and Kol Inyonei Aguf is a mashal for the nekeva, right? That's why it's all Zohar in Parshas Chayesor on the Ptira of Sarah, right? That's okay. And Dvarim Arukim, right? Dvarim Arukim that that Tumas Meis is the biggest separation between guf and neshama that were made for each other. The neshama was made for a guf. That's why Rebbe Shem carved it out of Kisei HaKavod for the mission of being in a body, and that's our ultimate destiny by Tchias HaMesim, for the two to be together forever. Not according to the Rambam, I agree. According to Rambam. Fi Rabbeinu Ramban. Correct. Right? Emes. So right? So Am Yisrael, when they were nichshol necheda ego, right? So it was a redoing of Chet Adam Rishon, right? Because when they were Omer Arsei Pascha Zu Amasan, and then that's what Chazal say. Ani Amarti Elohim Atem Uvneon Kulchem is by Am Yisrael at Ma'amad Arsei. Ochein Ka'adam Tamus Rach Hashem Tipolu is as a result of the Chet HaEgel, right? Death made a comeback. I mean, the Chet Adam Rishon made a comeback the Yetzer Hara re-penetrated on the inside, and the Yetzer Hara is on the inside is what makes the pure between the Neshama and Guf. Like Chazal say, Riboshim Galil Fenecha Sheritzonenu Lasos Tzoncha Umi Ma'akev. Mean our Rotzen, which is the Neshama, is to do Ritzoncha, but Mi Ma'akev, right? The source means it's Ma'akev between the Rotzen and the Maisa. Rotzen, which is in the Neshama, and the Maisa, it's in the Guf, right? And the Yetzer Hara is Ma'akev between the two, right? It comes in between our good intent that's from the Neshama and the Guf, and that's also what that period, which is ma'akev from doing ritzono, is ultimately what brings death, right? And why we have to die, right? And that's all called DAAS Tov V'Ra. It's all from the Eitz HaDaas. So Mimela, something that remedies the problem and takes off Tumas Meis is going to be Lamala from our DAAS. That's why it's not understandable. Right? It's not understandable, right? Because our whole corrupted DAAS, which is how the Yetzer Hara could seduce us, because our intellect is not perfect. It's where we're susceptible to his eitzos, atzas hayetzer, because we have DAAS Tov V'Ra, right? That's not pure intelligence. It's adulterated intelligence, right? So if there's going to be a mitzvah that's going to undo the effect of that, of course it's going to be lamala from our DAAS. But Moshe Rabbeinu wasn't even on earth when the chet happened, and he only died b'gzeras makom, because even on the day of his death, lo nas lechol, he looked like a young man. He did not die of old age. He died mamish b'gzera.
From Shabbos, it says that Moshe Rabbeinu is one of those that died b'iter shel nachash.
Yeah, I thought it was Amram Avi Moshe, right?
What?
I thought it was Amram Avi Moshe.
Moshe himself. One sheeter.
One sheeter,
One
yeah.
sheeter. Not everybody sheeter. One sheeter.
Uh-huh.
So that's...
All right. Right. Let me see, though. He could have lived forever, and he wasn't even on earth when the chet happened. So he understood paraduma.
So I always ask everybody, so if that's according to the sheeter, but we know that he was he did something wrong because he was punished.
Right.
So we know he did.
Yeah.
Hitting the rock instead of talking to it. So it's not a chet. So I tell everybody, no, that's not a chet. Nobody held that it was a chet. But he used the chet. He had a command. He thought it wasn't a chet. He fulfilled it, but he didn't fulfill it correctly.
Well, he made a cheshbon, right? Because but the first rock he hit.
Many times he made cheshbonos.
Right.
He did a lot of things, and I used to tell him, "You did the right thing. You did the right thing." And when he said he sent the Meraglim, I always argue he got punished for the Meraglim. But when the Torah says they got punished for the name Riva,
Right.
so that's just a cover-up. That was just a cover-up. That nobody should say he's being punished because he wasn't over on the Meraglim. They
Right.
gave him
Right.
permission. They gave him permission. But because that he was
The catalyst.
What did you say?
Catalyst.
He was a catalyst for it, so he had to get punished for it.
Right.
But my argument is that punishment doesn't fit the crime of Meimer either.
Uh-huh.
The only punishment of not going to Eretz Yisrael, all had to do with Meraglim, was Mida Keneged Mida.
Yeah. It was also foretold. It was prophecies.
Mida Keneged Mida.
Uh-huh. No, I agree with you totally. I totally
Is
agree
he
with you.
still on the phone? I'm bothering him.
No, he's just on the phone. But
Are you
hey,
still on the phone?
Yoni?
Yeah, I'm here.
So with us, okay, so anyway, so getting back to, we'll just finish our vort. So that's why we can't understand Parah Aduma, because we have DAAS Tov V'Ra. We have DAAS Tov V'Ra, and this remedies the problem that DAAS, so of course it's above us, so that's why it's above our DAAS. But it's the real DAAS. Emes DAAS Torah. Tara is DAAS. Moshe Rabbeinu is on that level, so he understands Tame Parah. Right. And of course, it has to do with today. Our president. He's a bardas. Legabe. Certain things, and trying to those who don't belong in to keep them out. Right. And be mavdil. Make a wall. Be the right. You have the das of being mavdil. Right. Be mavdil between the citizens and the non-citizens. Right. The innocent and the terrorists. And yes, Islamic terror. Right, he wants to make the Havdalah, right? The Havdalah of that what's American is American. So also the pipeline, they should only use American steel, right? not foreign steel, putting that which belongs together, bechibur, being mechaber, and being mavdil, and leaving those that should be on the other side of the wall, right? On the other sad of the wall. But malasot, he was zoche as to be a vehicle of the hashgacha elyona, a vehicle of the DAAS Elyon, even though I don't know what he personally is thinking, vehicle of DAAS Elyon. But what can you do, right? The courts that make the decisions are liberals, right? And as I heard, just the fact that he mentioned the word Islamic terror in a campaign speech, on that basis alone, the judge in Washington, overturned, added himself to the judge in Hawaii to overturn, because he's saying a racist thing. He's saying the truth. He's calling the baby by name. They say, no, not be, can't separate. No havdalah and no wall. Right? So now that Yenner, because he feels like a woman, should use a woman's bathroom, right? So they're mechaber incongruence, right? Mechaber incongruence. This one in this bathroom and this one in that bathroom. What?
Sounds like a joke, but it's exactly true.
I'm saying truth. You think, I don't care. I have no sense of humor. I just say things like it is.
Wait, what sounds like a joke? What's that?
This idea, the fact that the liberals are distorting reality totally by doing everything they do.
Right.
It's contrary to the way the world was created.
Right. So bathrooms that should be separate. Bathrooms that should be separate.
Violating natural law.
That's right. Correct. Right, bathrooms that should be separate, they put together, tzuzamen, whatever you feel like that's the bathroom you go to, whatever. So things that are meant to be separate, they put together, transgender and trans bathroom and Hashem Yerachim and LBGT and blah blah, all tzirufei oisius Hashem Yerachim, right? Yeah, they made it on the news that some gay guy is going to be something in New York, and he aspired to run because Trump became president. There's a counter, Hashem Yerachim, right? So they make chiburim between that which is never meant to be together, right? And dafka, terrorists that you should leave out, right? No wall, bring them all in, right? Mamash, evil das, das working to be dafka, put together incongruence and to be mafrid ben advekim. Right, as opposed to the Rebbe should give our president the strength, Parsha's Porah, right? DAAS Elyon, the DAAS of Tahara, the DAAS of putting together what belongs together, and therefore knowing when to separate what belongs separate, right? And right, and then you should be zocher to build a wall and to institute the travel ban. Okay. All right, Yoni, thanks for joining us.
Yoni, you missed a very good show. Believe it or not, it was very different from yours.
Is there any left? Any shirayim?
There is.
There is. We'll leave it. Okay, how far out are you?